So welcome everybody. We're getting this audio stuff figured out. If you're here worrying about the Pope is going to come. This is going to be our first community called Pope. So we're going to do this every week. Right now, it's scheduled for every Monday, the same time. We're going to gather as a community, discuss updates, discuss everything cool that's going on with Rovi. So yeah, I mean, we've been having these community discussions, but this is, I guess, technically the first official one. You know, we have a Decentraland event page now.
That's right.
Every week we're gonna do a giveaway of some kind, and yeah, keep discussing updates. So yeah, we'll just post the YouTube link in the chat.
Yeah, everybody head over there. That way you can see what we're looking at, and we're going to show you a couple of things that we got going. So yeah, we do this. We're going to try to do this every Monday, and if not, a little bit more often, leading up to the launch on September 2nd. And yeah, so on September 2nd, we're going to be releasing, basically opening it up to anybody to purchase Rovi's. And from there, if you've purchased a Rovi, it's going to be a very similar experience. You click Mint, it'll take you to MetaZone, and then you'll have the three options there to purchase. The location is 61-27. This is the MetaZone location. And man, were you able to jump into Decentraland since then?
I've been having issues, dude, on this specific device. I could jump in on my desktop, which I am also around. So yeah, let's hop in. Let's meet at the MetaZone Tower, 61-27, like Will said.
Yeah, and this is I believe Loki Amber. Let me check.
Okay, I'm hopping in, guys. So, let's meet up on the roof like we did last time.
Fenrir. Sorry, Fenrir.
Fenrir?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just like last time. I think there's some updates up here. I haven't actually seen this yet.
Can we get the link? Okay, never mind. I'm on my way. I'm going. Fenrir. I'll post the link.
All right, here we go. So a couple of updates that we wanted to share with you guys is the main thing about September 2nd is we want to make sure the purchasing experience is pretty smooth, and we've done enough testing to kind of, so I don't foresee any major issues. Beyond that, we want to have like that smooth experience, and then pretty soon after that we'll have an unboxing kind of event. And then, well, basically there's going to be two unboxing events, right? There's the transporter unboxing, and then there's the supercharger unboxing, and then the Rovi unboxing. So those two events will happen pretty soon after that, obviously pending on sales according to the site, but things are pretty much ready to go. There's no need to wait for anything, really. Just a matter of like formalities, I suppose. So yeah, so on September 2nd, it'll be at 6 p.m. UTC. We're going to be here 30 minutes early on the community call. That way we get everybody prepared. And anyone who hasn't purchased a Rovi, we're going to walk through the purchasing experience. It's pretty straightforward. So far, the experience has told us that the gas fees are relatively low in these types of transactions. So I wouldn't expect anything too crazy unless Ethereum is like 10 grand, 4 days from now, which seems very unlikely.
Unlikely, but possible.
Potentially, yeah, possible, yes.
Very, very unlikely, though. 4 days from now, you said?
Yeah, 4 days, yeah.
That would be extremely wild, but yeah, we're definitely bullish on everything, Ethereum included. So at one point in time, dude, these gas fees are just gonna get even more insane than what we're experiencing today.
Yeah, yeah. And so
I can't even imagine what that's gonna be like, but
yeah,
it's coming.
That's part of the reason why we're pretty much every project in the space right now, especially in gaming, they're transitioning over to Polygon. If not any other sidechain that's available, like XDAI and Immutable X is another one. So yeah, everyone's transitioning to kind of like a more stable ecosystem to support these types of interactions.
Okay, I see our first visitor on the roof. So we're in that Fenrir server, correct? And the link was posted in the live chat channel. So if you guys can join us up here on the roof like we were last week. Because yeah, there's some new deployments here. You'll see them. I don't want to spoil it, but as soon as you get up here, it's literally the first thing you'll see when you get to the top floor. Screw it, I'll spoil it. It's the 5 supercharger models.
Oh, they're all up there. Nice.
Yeah, dude, all 5 of them are here, dude. And I guess this is another opportunity for us to explain like what the hell is going on, because you guys have been noticing when you buy you pre-sale guys notice when you buy a transporter, there's 5 different variations of superchargers within them. So up until now, we've only had like, little GIFs to kind of convey what it is that's actually inside a transporter, but this is it. These superchargers are actually metas that are deployable in the metaverse, right?
Yeah, correct. And I'm just kind of following the chat here, and there is a POAP today. Seems like everyone's excited about these POAPs, dude.
Of course, yeah.
So yeah, it is going to be provided. Yeah, the password is definitely not high, but you're getting close. It's close. We should have everybody guess the password, man. What do you think? Brute force this password?
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
that's kind of mean, dude.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the password is at the moment. Only you know. You can give us some hints.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't bore you guys with this brute forcing, but
yeah.
Let's hand out the POAP for now, and all you have to do is DM the POAP bot, just like Third Eye did, and send the password Rovi land, all one word, lowercase.
Rovi land. Okay. ROVILAND.
Correct.
All right, let's go. All right, what's the process? You DM the POAP bot with that message. No exclamation marks or anything necessary?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So it looks like Juxon did it. Kim Possible did. Thank you, Tunkoi and Mun Roxy. Yeah, just go ahead and DM the POAP bot, the password Rovi land, and then you should be able to get your POAP.
All right, congrats, guys. So this is week 1 POAP for our community meetups. This is going to be, there's 52 weeks in a year, so there's going to be a lot of POAPs from now on. But yeah, there's only going to be one first POAP. So congrats to all you guys who are here.
Yes.
Just like last week, you guys made history by making the first in-world metaverse snapshot. Now you guys are the first POAP collectors for Rovi community event. And I think we've done a couple POAPs already, right? We did one for the pre-sale launch.
Yes, we did. Yep.
Did we have another one, or is that the first one?
No, that was the first one. This is the second one, and there's going to be more for sure. But like I said, I think we're gonna be doing this more often. Maybe there's going to be another POAP sometime in the middle of the week, just to kind of prepare everybody for the call. We'll probably do one on Wednesday, and then another one on Thursday. What do you think?
Sounds good to me, dude. I'm down. I could do this every day. It's just, I think that might be a little overkill.
It might be overkill, yeah.
But we're definitely going to ramp this stuff up. Let's see. POAP versus Pope. Thoughts? Yeah, dude, we've been down this road many times. I think the official is POAP.
Yeah, it is POAP for sure.
Yeah. We literally had a huge argument with the POAP founders and everything.
Yeah, we did.
It was trying to
Twitter battle.
Yeah.
And I think what we decided is we're gonna call it whatever the hell we want, and it's Pope because it's one syllable. And that's it.
Look at that, dude. Juxon with the critical lore. Dude, the creators are Spanish. I guess that's why it's officially called POAP. Interesting. I didn't know that, dude. Very nice.
That makes sense.
Does it?
Yeah, it does. It does make sense.
Okay. I need to brush up on my Spanish then. Argentina. Yeah, there's a lot of Argentinian founders to a lot of things. Decentraland is an Argentinian founded platform.
That's right.
So yeah.
All right. So hopefully everyone got their POAP. If anyone asks, just let them know in the comments or in the chat there. And so yeah, let's continue with what we're showing here. So yeah, we have the 5 different transporters all in like scaled size correctly, and your Rovies are going to be housed in these things until that unboxing event. And so we mentioned in the previous call, what was it on Friday, man? What was the last call? I think it was Friday.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So we mentioned that this whole project is procedurally generated. So, and that includes the mint number. So what does that mean? That means when you unbox your transporter and you unleash your supercharger, that supercharger is going to be minted in order based on the order of them being unboxed. So, I mean, if you care about the mint count, that's an important detail for you guys. So if you care about getting the first, or try to get the first mint or early mints, then you want to be on the call during the unboxing event. We're going to be live again 30 minutes before. And of course, Oscar in the background will be enabling all this functionality. And once it's enabled, we'll tell you guys to refresh. You guys can unbox, and there we go. That's as fair and as random as it gets in terms of getting the early mints.
Yep.
And so, Iman, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can click on these and open them. Is that correct?
Now, I'm literally just doing that right now. So you just press E like you do interact with a lot of things in Decentraland, and yeah, there's an opening process to them. So this is a thing, man. Like, so what is a meta, right? Metas are, God, it's so hard to pinpoint like an exact definition, but I mean, we have an acronym: Metaverse Enabled Tokenized Asset. But what metas really are is like functional content within, functional, like NFTs that are actually functional content. So by pressing E, like this is a meta. Everybody who's purchasing a transporter is going to get one of these 5. Some of you guys already have all 5 ready to go, and there's added benefits to owning all 5 in the Roviverse and in Decentraland, right? So there's not just functionality to these assets. There's utility as well. So
yeah,
there's a lot of ways to explain what a meta actually is, but clearly these things open for a reason, right? Because they're going to house your Rovies within them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, correct.
So the utility that these assets provide is they're going to become the charging units for the Rovies in the Roviverse. So after a battle, whether in PvE or PvP, you're going to be exhausting your energy levels to your Rovies. And in order to continue battling, you've got to replenish that energy level, dude. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have to interact with these things. And they're going to be, I mean, because there's 10,000 in existence. So that you can imagine there's going to be a lot of these deployed throughout the metaverse, and there's going to be content all over the metaverse as well, where you're battling and PvEing, PvPing. So these things need to be readily accessible wherever you are in order to maintain those energy levels, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we've made sure that the more of these that you have in your inventory and you have them installed on your land, the more benefit it provides to the player.
That's correct. So yeah. So we actually had a couple of good conversations kind of here in the chat, and there's a lot of questions around these metas. That's why we keep talking about it. And it's something that I guess we brought to the table in the sense that we understand the sort of economic difficulties that it takes to build content in the metaverse, specifically in Decentraland, and this applies really for any metaverse where you have people owning land. And the idea is essentially that when you make content, that content should be easily deployable, right? You don't want your land base to take code and merge it and kind of figure out how to do basic programming skills to deploy stuff, right? That's not really sustainable. So we created this concept of a meta where essentially you purchase it, you deploy it on your land. It doesn't matter if it's theoretically, in our view, it doesn't matter if it's in Decentraland or any other metaverse, you should be able to click and deploy. And the whole idea, so what does that change in terms of game design? What does that change for the developers? What does that really do? What's the difference between making games traditionally versus making games in the metaverse? And the difference is really the economic implications of your game. Because landowners spend a lot of money on land, they need some sort of revenue, or at least we speculate that they would like revenue generating content. And revenue generating content demands a developer to make that content, right? You can't just use a builder tool to do this stuff, because the barrier to entry would be so low that, I don't know, in my opinion, I think it would be difficult for something like that to take off. So now you require developers. So developers are expensive, and they spend a lot of time making games, right? That's one of the, if you think about it, your computer, when it's playing a game, you're utilizing pretty much 100% of your computational power, and it's just a game, right? Very little implications. And then comes in blockchain, and now there's huge implications, right? We have Axie generating like 500 million in volume based on breeding, and it's propping up an entire country, right? The Philippines, right? There's a lot of people in the Philippines are playing the game and paying their bills because of it, right? So that's a big deal.
Yeah, now the Axie government's full on tax the Axie player base mode.
Oh, is that what's going on?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Of course. Right. Of course they're gonna seize on that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. And
As governments do.
I guess as they should. I mean, I guess if you believe in government, right? Like I think government could be a good thing, but
It's definitely a good thing.
They're
but
overreaching in some cases.
yeah. How do I get a PO app? So let's go back to the chat. So the PO app is already deployed, correct?
Yes, it's deployed. DM the
Thank you,
PO
Tunkoy.
bot. Yeah, thank you, Tunkoy. Yeah, DM the PO bot the password, and the password is Rovi.land, one word, all lowercase.
Yeah, Juxton, you just said it best. You can't wait to put these superchargers in my tavern.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is what's so cool about it. Like you could deploy these anywhere you want, like as long as you own the land.
That's right.
Why wouldn't you want? Because also by deploying these, you're also, I mean, there's another meta here on this roof. There's like a little Rovi logo with like a hologram here in the middle of the roof. It says Rovi. This, I mean, it doesn't look like a meta, but it actually is. What this little thing does, it enables this entire land estate to enable Rovi's existence, right? Deployability of a Rovi. So right now we don't have the Rovi's deployable yet, but we will on the launch date. But within that same tavern where you're hosting these superchargers, I mean, I'd imagine you want to host one of these as well, because that way people with Rovi's will be able to have them by their side, right?
Yes.
So there's a lot we could say.
Yeah, going back to kind of the previous train of thought was kind of thinking through how we go about building the metaverse and how we think everyone should be kind of thinking like in this line, just because it's a lot more efficient to be building content that is easily and quickly deployable. So the idea is that we want to reduce the barrier to building content, right? Because without MetaZone, you essentially have to code everything yourself, code the smart contracts, code the interactions, code the potential play to earn mechanics into your game, and basically do everything yourself. And then once it's coded, which is one of the hard parts, right, of all of this, once it's coded, then you have to do all the marketing for your own land. Then you have to kind of sustain a community, right, in this environment. And on top of that, not only is sustaining the community, but continuously creating content and having replayability, right, on your 1x1 or 2x2 or 3x3, something, in the grand scheme of things, relatively small. That's hard to do, right? I don't think that's really sustainable. And so instead, what we're asking creators to do is make the game that they intended to make in the first place, but instead make the game into small chunks, or small NFT chunks, right? You have your battling meta, you have your PvE meta, you have your just a spawning meta. That way you could just get this meta, deploy it within your tavern, for example, in Juxton. That way everybody can see all the Rovies that exist, right? A simple meta like that. There's no battling there. There's no nothing. It's just flexing which Rovi you got, right? So that's a very simple meta. So take your game concept, break it up into bite-sized like NFT functions, and then distribute that to the community and have them host it, because your community, I guarantee you, has more land than you do, right? Collectively. And so if they deploy your game, then your game would exist in more than just your land. And I think that's a little bit more sustainable model. The developer only focuses on making the great content, and then the community takes that content and does their marketing, right, collectively, and brings people to their land, and now you have a full-on economy. So part of what we think will make sustainable content in the metaverse is that pretty much every single content will have their own token. So when you're playing Rovies, the idea is when you're PvP battling and you win tokens as well. And so you would use those tokens to recirculate back into this economy, upgrade your Rovi, replicate, make new Rovies, and then continue on with the game and play to earn style. So that's sort of what we're thinking. And this is, I'm just explaining, this is a conversation that I was having with a few members in the community right now, just a few days ago, and I had an actual call with someone, a developer, and he was asking me, he was like, dude, Will, explain to me how this is possible that people are spending more than $60 on a game. And I was like, well, because people who are spending more than $60 on a game are not buying a game, they're investing in an asset. That's the difference. And so now you have, potentially metas selling for $1,000, right? Or more in some cases. And for example, Ethermon Meta was sold just a few weeks ago for 27,000 USD. Right. And it's because to this guy, it was an investment. It wasn't a game. And that's what I think NFTs are about, right? They're scarce assets, and they're part of a growing game. And so there's perceived value there. Any thoughts around that, Iman?
Yeah, but first let me address the chat, because there's been a lot of chat going on. So some of you guys are asking about, you might be hearing something while you're here on the tower, because I think we have a cyber jukebox deployed in this estate. So you might be hearing in world like a different podcast discussion going on while we're actually talking at the same time. So there might be some confusion going on. Like if you're actually hearing, like, what me and Will have a podcast on that cyber jukebox. So if you're hearing our voice somewhere else, it's probably that.
Yeah.
So the only way to disable that is actually run down to the bottom floor. There's a little like bouncing jukebox down there that you have to like literally click on it to stop it from broadcasting that podcast. That way you avoid like this double layer of, voices. Just, I wanted to address that in case anybody's experiencing that.
Yeah, you can also mute your tab as well if you don't want any sounds coming in from the browser.
Yeah, that too. Okay. LOL, sorry. You can also go, and there's also like in-world settings to disable the sound. Yep, you can mute in DCL also.
That's right.
Okay. I just wanted to address that. And then for those of you guys wondering, is there going to be another giveaway? There is. We're gonna give away a Rovi probably here in about 15 minutes or so.
Yep.
So yeah, stay tuned for that. We'll deploy the bot, do the usual thing, and one of you guys will win this Rovi transporter. Yeah, man. Let's see.
Yeah, and one of the things that I guess if you've been part of this Discord and sort of following our podcast, we talk about this concept of a meta pretty often, and I think internally it feels like we're talking about it too often, but every single week there's always somebody new coming in and like their minds sort of explode with the whole concept of distributing a game, right? It's not a $60 game like we're used to anymore. These are assets, right, that generate you revenue potentially. So think about like this particular individual. He lives in Brazil, and over there, he's a really cool game maker, right? He makes a ton of games. They're all in Steam, so he's delivered these games, and they're awesome. But the whole idea of selling a game for more than $60 is like, it's weird to him, and I get it. It is weird.
So it's weird, and it's going to be up to us to like make that unweird. So this is just part of the metaverse maturation process that everybody's going to have to go through. We've already gone through it with NFTs. It's weird for people to be spending millions of dollars on PNGs. We get that. Obviously, we've been through that maturation process. We're dealing with the flack from normies who don't get it. And yeah, invisible rocks are selling for
Yeah.
millions. Like this is
That's right.
part of the maturation process. Who cares if it's weird? It is weird. It's supposed to be weird. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Right? If it's not weird, it's not worth the damn thing if it's not weird, right? The internet was weird when it first started. So we want it to be weird. If you're weirded out by this conversation, that's a good sign,
Yeah, it is
in my opinion.
Yeah.
So yeah, if it ain't weird, it ain't worth it. New bumper sticker. Yeah, man. So I mean, we're just gonna have to deal with these people who are weirded out by it, because I mean, deal it not in like a negative sense, deal in the sense that it's up to us as a community to do our best to educate people, get people to understand like the gravity of the metaverse, to get people to understand the application of NFTs within it. And yeah, all these things we're talking about every single week. I guess it feels redundant to me and you, because it feels like we're repeating the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
But it has to be repeated because it's weird, it's new, and it's part of the maturation process, you know? So yeah, that's why we have everybody up here, like observing these metas, you know, like we want it to be very clear to everybody. You guys own these things. If you participate in the pre-sale, these are yours.
Yeah, correct.
You know, I don't know which one is yours.
Yeah.
If you only bought one transporter, one of these 5 is yours. If you bought a bunch of transporters, you might have
several
all 5.
of them. Yeah, or all 5.
Yeah. Exactly. And you know, this is, I think the future of the metaverse is distributing the game content, allowing the community to host these things to get the economy off the ground, you know. And yeah, so this is phase 1 of our attempt at educating the world, like what it is we're actually building here as a community with MetaZone and with Rovi's, and every future project that comes through our platform and our ecosystem, it's going to be the same thing.
Yes.
If you're trying to build a gameverse in the metaverse, you're going to have to create content. You're going to have to metafy it. You're going to have a community of supporters who want to host your content. Like this is the future of the metaverse, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right.
So you're looking at the very beginning Lego pieces of that, and yeah, man.
Yeah, check this out. Swooty has 42 transporters, man. What do you think?
He's got 42?
42. He's been sweeping them up, dude.
Then he's got a freaking supercharger farm, dude. He's ready to go. He's ready to make himself a giga factory, dude.
A giga factory? We're gonna call him.
He's gonna have Rovi's lining up for days, like get that max juice.
Yeah.
You know, actually, they don't have to line up. It's gonna be so fast. Like you're gonna come to Swooty's land, charge up your Rovi, and you're ready to battle, dude. Like that's the point, right?
Dude, that's what we should call it. Any 5 Rovi's on a single land is a gigafactory. That's it, dude.
Dude, we might get sued for that.
Yeah, we might. Who cares, dude?
If you guys could come up with a better term for like a
gigafactory.
Gigafactory?
Yeah, dude.
Or like Uber factory? Oh, damn. We can't use Uber either. Yeah, everything's taken, man. I don't know. We'll figure out good terminologies for these, like, these zones, right? Because like you as a meta zone host, you know, you have your own zone, your own experience on your own land. So yeah, you as that land host have the right to label it whatever you want. Rovi factory.
Yeah, Rovi factory and Swooty factory, meta factory. That's a good one.
Yeah, why not? Call it Swooty Factory, dude. Swooty Land. That's your brand, dude. That's your identity.
That's true. That's exactly what we want to encourage. Is like you call it your own thing, right? Swooty Factory. That's what makes the most sense.
Swooty Land. See, everyone's gonna know, dude. It's like I want to go charge my Rovi's. I want to go have like an optimal experience. It's like we're going to Swooty Land, dude.
That's right. That's
like,
right.
And that's the point. That's why you acquired so many of these things, to be known and recognized as that.
Yeah.
You know.
So so part of this ecosystem is you're going to be earning this ERC20 token, right? And this is going to be another Polygon asset, and so that way it's easily distributable and kind of usable in this game. So we don't have to deal with, like today I was sending out payments on MetaZone, and I spent $200 on essentially 3 transactions. That's ridiculous. 3 transactions, dude, $200. So that's not exactly sustainable. So yeah, that's why Polygon exists, and they're dominating.
Exactly. Almost like they had the foresight to know this was going to happen.
Right.
So
right.
Man, this is the oldest dilemma in the book. like the Ethereum scaling dilemma. Like we all knew this was going to happen, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Like, so of course we're going to leverage what like the best solution at the moment out there to make sure like this game ecosystem is viable. Because if everything was on Ethereum, dude, yeah, it's going to be very tough to have a sustainable economy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and so Angelo did a podcast recently. I think released it today, and he's talking about Rovi's and kind of explaining everything. I haven't listened to it yet, but I will after this call. But definitely check out Angelo's podcast. Angelo, if you're in Discord, can you link to your podcast? That way people can listen to it. And I'm
Right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Angelo asked us a ton of really critical questions. And yeah, we're appreciative of that because by us answering questions from the community, we're only getting better because like education process and like the maturation of everything. Because there's a lot to explain, yada, yada, yada. We got to get better at that. So yeah, if anybody has like a laundry list of questions to ask us and you want to, create a Twitter thread or a blog post, whatever you want to do, we're definitely open to answer. Or if you're just curious, we're always here, guys. So just leaving that out there. There it is.
Yeah,
there's the link.
Angelo just posted a link in live chat. Perseus with a question: do all superchargers serve the same purpose?